Welcome to eXtremeRate channel. In this video, we will show you how to install the whole button clicky kit on the PS5 controller model BDM040. Let's grab victory with the eXtremeRate whole clicky kit. First, check if you get all the tools and components inside the kit. And let's start the process. Remove both shoulder buttons and the front trim cover. Use the flat end of the spudger to pry and lift the button off the controller. And pry the bottom edge of the cover and walk it all the way around to unclip the cover. Remove the cover and set it aside. Then remove the screws at both shoulder buttons and the bottom of the grips. Separate the clips of the bottom shell from the right side. And lift the tabs locking the bottom shell. Then work the spudger on the edge of both sides to undo the clips. Remove the bottom shell and put it aside. Unplug the cable and remove the battery. And take the microphone off the bracket. Remove the screws, one on the bracket and two on the sides. Remove the bracket and put it aside. Unplug the ribbon cable surrounding the motherboard. Carefully lift up the middle assembly. Then we need to cut off the adaptive trigger wires. Divide the yellow and green wires as a group. Use pliers or scissors to cut them off. Then use the ejector pin to poke out the metal rod locking the trigger. Stick the pin fully inside the hole to push the metal rod out. Remove the metal rod and put it aside. And remove the trigger. Then do the same to unlock and remove the trigger on the other side. Take out the metal rod and remove the trigger button. Then remove the conductive rubber on the shoulder and trigger of both sides. And unscrew the bracket on both trigger modules. Lift the trigger module from the specific point and remove it from the controller. Remove the conductive film of the controller. Lift up the film with the tweezers from the shoulder place. And lift off the face button film. Flip to the other side and unhook the motherboard. Undo the film secured with the posts. Now take the whole piece off the controller. Then install the eXtremeRate hold button clicky kit onto the controller. First, guide the yellow part through the slit and secure it with the posts on two sides. Then line up and install the face button FPC and secure it with the tiny tabs on the surface. Then put back the speaker and check if it is correctly placed. Flip the motherboard back into position and push the motherboard to clip it in. Here you can tape and fix the motherboard in case it falls off. Now let's move to the shoulders and triggers. Flip the FPC and sit the shoulder part into the slot. We can use the tweezers to push it down and sit it completely in place. Now we can refer to the picture and check if it is correctly installed. Then install the shoulder FPC on the other side. Find the correct direction and snap it down into the slot. Double check if it is correctly installed. Next, install the bracket in the kit on the right trigger. Line up with the holes and click it in. Push the plastic inward to click it in. Then put the right clicky trigger FPC on the platform and fit it in. Screw down the bracket. Then twist off the plastic pieces from the given kit and snap it down to fit in the button slot. Make sure it goes all the way down and not leaving any gap. Then install the right trigger on the controller and lock the button with the metal rod. Now let's do the same on the left side trigger. Install the bracket in the kit on the left trigger. Line up with the holes and click it in. Push the plastic inward to click it in. Then screw down the bracket. Install the left trigger FPC on the platform and clip it in. Twist off the plastic pieces from the given kit and snap it down to fit in the button slot. Make sure it goes all the way down and not leaving any gap. Install the left trigger and lock the button with the metal rod. Arrange the cables. And use the tape to fix the cable in the gap of the bracket. After the cables are neatly taped, we need to replace the rubber pads. Remove the stock rubber pads of the D-pad and ABXY buttons. And install the rubber pads in the kit. Make sure the pad fits the button snugly. Remove the tapes on the motherboard if previously put on. Line up the clips and snap it down to fit the front plate. And be careful not to clip the microphone cable. Reconnect the front microphone and the touchpad cables to the motherboard. Lay the battery bracket on the motherboard. And lock 3 screws here. Put the back microphone on the bracket. Plug the battery cable and install the battery. Then line up the bottom shell to the controller and snap it back on. Lock back the screws at both shoulder buttons and the bottom of the grips. Cut off 2 plastic posts from the kit. And insert the post into the tiny hole on the shoulder button. Then install the shoulder button on the controller. Insert the post into the tiny hole on another shoulder button. And install the button on the controller. In the last, put back the front cover to wrap up the installation process. After installing the kit, let's test if all the buttons are perfectly clicking as they should be. Thank you for watching the video. Happy customizing with eXtremeRate.